Today we are going to start Amar Jibon by Rassundari Devi summary and analysis. Amar Jibon or My Life talks of Rassundari's life on a whole. Instances from childhood, the advent of her marriage, married life and the like. On a deeper plane, it portrays the dissatisfaction, fear and even frustration she felt at being forced to follow a certain path. Being a woman, that is. Her marriage, her household chores, her everyday life all form the narrative, which at once gives us a window into the life of a feudal housewife in 19th century reformist Bengal, but also delves into the issues of inequality, oppression and lack of opportunity for women. The book creates a picture of a changing world, the status and role of a woman and Rassundari's own views on the changing times. Taking into consideration the society she was born in, lived in and was part of her very desire for learning to read and write was an act that challenged the norms. In fact, she writes about how public controversy on the issue of female education made her tremble with fear. She was 14 when her wish to learn how to read and write first developed. As she was already a married woman, she performed all the requisite duties of a traditional Bengali housewife. However, society at the time was vehemently opposed to female education, and hence her previously mentioned fear took shape. And yet learned she did all on her own. As a child in her mother's home, she had the habit of observing from a distance when boys studied Bengali and Persian letters, not allowed to handle even a quill or a palm leaf. She had memorized these symbols by sight. After all these years, she tried to remember those signs and learned to write by trying them on a blackened kitchen wall. She tried, and so this timid, extremely busy and fearful housewife managed to learn to read and write. Rassundari Devi's two sections of Amar Jibon 1868 and 1897 is prominent as one of the early autobiographies ever written by an Indian woman. Being the first full-length autobiography written in Bengali by a woman, it was welcomed and received with extreme praise and appreciation just after its publication. Unprivileged to acquire education which barred Indian women to establish themselves as writers made this autobiography more significant as the first part of her autobiography. She further added the second part at the age of 88, which combined came to known as Amar Jibon in 1897. The autobiography came into existence after Rassundari Devi was widowed at the age of 59. The first completion and publication of the autobiography Amar Jibon was in 1868 and the final version got published in 1897. It was in two parts, where the first part comprises 15 ranchas or compositions with a devotional poem dedicated to Daya Madhav, the Vaishnav deity. She added the second part of her autobiography at the age of 88 and got it published in 1906. Rassundari Devi's Amar Jibon chronicled her life by detailing her years of struggle as a survivor, as a child bride, a mother, a wife, a widow, and ended with a learner. She had also been a true contributor to the genre of autobiography and made the section of woman autobiography take another leap of recognition. The great effort, ardent desire to acquire education made her the first modern autobiographer in Bengali language. The transformed self from an illiterate, unrecognized housewife to an autobiographer was praiseworthy. The preface was added by the famous literary figure of the 19th century, Jatindranath Tagore. Tanika Sarkar, in her book Words to Win, The Making of Amar Jibon, a modern autobiography, quotes him glorify Rassundari Devi as her domestic skill matched her piety and her love for God. It was her religious quest that inspired her to educate herself. It was not to read plays and novels but to read Chaitanya Bhagavat that she was so keen to learning. It is extremely unusual to come across such an elevated, exalted religious life. Dinesh Chandra Sen wrote an introduction to the book reviewing the life and writing of Rassundari Devi. Sen asserts the value of autobiography, saying an entire chapter of Bengali literature would have remained incomplete. Jatindranath Tagore's foreword to the second edition of Amar Jibon is all praise of the book. He recommends that every household should own a copy of it. According to him, the book is a very powerful chronicle which would serve as inspiration to women of various ages. He states, I started reading Amar Jibon with an excitement. I had decided that I would mark important and interesting sentences with a pencil. While reading, I realized that the whole book had been marked with a pencil. Her life story startles us. Her writings are so simple, honest, and powerful that it is impossible to put down the book without completing it.